Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about something that bothers me a little bit, and general topic I want to Gideon about a little bit is Armored Core 6 looking kind of like casual Core 6 rather than Armored Core 6. And let me elaborate. During this showcase, a fighting cowboy was playing through the game, and at some point, as you can see over here, this is actually beginning of the game, yeah? He's just like playing around. At some point, he just simply died. So like this is the moment, he got hit in the box and yeah. Mech got destroyed. With Armored Core 6, you are going to respawn at certain checkpoint. You are going to have your ammunition, HP, and repair kits completely refilled. What is going to lead to is a gameplay loop where dying on the purpose to refill your shit on the checkpoints is literally the optimal play. Like, I don't know if that's related to the lock-on system or something like that, but camera work is god fucking awful, especially when you have like a big opponent nearby you. It doesn't it doesn't go away. You're always like here, like very claustrophobic. It's hard to say what the hell is going on, yeah? Like the camera doing weird ass shit like over here, for example, yeah, because it was locking on the let's call it the head of this boss, yeah. It's most likely the lock-on fault if you think about it. Just the camera is going absolutely bonkers, and similarly how it is in the Souls games. This is my concern. Yeah, it's not really that big of the deal. It's something that people are going to adapt to, and it might be annoying, but it is not like a deal breaker to not play the game or anything like that. But this is one of the ways how lock-on actually probably doing more bad than good when it comes to the introduction of the system to the Armored Core franchise, because we didn't have anything like that before. Armored Core games didn't have the lock-on system, not the hard lock. There was like a reticle that was appearing on the screen, and the speed of that appearing and also like the distance and so on was depending on the mech parts, and here you can just lock on the opponent, which has the downside apparently, as lock-on is according to exactly this gamer, to Oroboro, when I was talking with him, he told me that lock-on actually decreases accuracy. So there is like certain negative thing, but we're gonna have to do more testing for the sake of to say if that's actually something that is detrimental, if that's even worth to lock off at any moment, and even if it actually decreases the accuracy much enough. Although, like, when we are looking at it right now, it's not sure if that's actually the case. Not sure if that's actually decreasing accuracy like enough for the sake of so you would have to bother. But point being is, even if it would be decreasing accuracy enough for the sake of so, it actually sometimes would be worth to not use the lock-on system and regular reticle from like known from the previous Armored Core games. It is honestly still something that's gonna be like a core of the gameplay, as essentially you're going to be using the lock-on and lock-off to rotate and never lose the track of your opponent. Because of that, the skill ceiling of the game is receiving a hit. The game is gonna be simply easier in the way that might be detrimental to the longevity of it, as whereas there is really nothing bad about making the game easier, there is definitely something bad about making it overly stupid. Yeah. In comparison to the other entries where like rotating around your opponent for the sake of so they would lose the lock of you and you still would keep like lock on them, like the reticle on them. I feel like this gameplay that we see is a little bit stupid. Like, one of the important aspects of the gameplay is essentially removed from the game. People that normally would spend, let's say, 1,000 hours with the game might spend 200 just because they are going to get bored quicker. Which, well, 200 is still a lot of hours, but you got the point, yeah? The longevity of the game is going to mayhaps get a hit because the depth of the gameplay is going to be less. Alright, so another thing is essentially the PvP topic of Armored Core, like, at least on the showcase, the PvP doesn't look too hot. And that's kind of unfortunate, honestly, because let me actually bring it that way. G9 made this video, brought like a relatively good concerns about what he thinks. Essentially, like his main concern is that like this PvP looks like it looks weird in the meaning that it's hard for him to tell where the skill is in the gameplay. And as I mentioned before, skill, like expressions of the skill, is kind of important for the longevity of the game. It's not about, oh, look, like this tryhard wants the game to be hard because they want to have like an upper hand based off the fact they are no-lifing the game and they spend like a 2,000 hours in and want to knowledge check every single scrap in the world. Yeah, this is not it. If you're going to look at the gameplay, like look at this fucking insane tracking. Yeah, like this is tank. Like Oroboro currently is playing on the tank, and he is just like a perfectly tracking someone that is just flying around. The only moment when he is not is when he's getting stunned, because this game has kind of like a resource bar in form of like self-stagger in kind of posture bullshittery. Like it is actually the thing, like he is essentially able to completely obliterate people in the DPS check as a tank because of just that one mechanic, the lock-on system. And in the previous Arbor Core entries, rotating and like flying around, hovering around above the tank and so on, like making them lose the lock, was essentially the play. Yeah, this play is pretty much impossible in this game, which means that, yeah, like we might end up in the DPS meta. And of course, let's make it clear. So here is the thing. These gamers that were playing on the showcase, they didn't have access to everything. They didn't have access to all the build parts. And Oroboro quoted it very nicely on today's morning. He said that this PvP that we currently observe, it is pretty much like in Elden Ring. You would look at the PvP where people are all on the level 30 and all of them use the Bloody Slash, which is essentially like the Ash of War that doesn't really have any sort of scaling, just very high base damage. And on top of that, they don't have access to every tool, yeah? Maybe there is in the game some sort of jammer that turns off the possibility to use the lock-on. Maybe there is something like that. Maybe we didn't see the shield, so I assume like no one had access to the shield. But maybe the shield is the counterplay against, let's say, tanks that salvage you with the artillery and the bullets, yeah? And by using the shield, maybe you can counter the tanks somehow, yeah? And their insane DPS outputs in addition to their amazing tankiness, yeah? Because here in this showcase, it kind of seems like tanks are very strong, yeah? There is a lot of things that might not be shown by this showcase. But based on what we see in this showcase, the game in PvP is going to be dog shit. It's gonna be DPS race. Like the time to kill is also very, very short. All I know is that like I have played For Answer, and For Answer looking way better, honestly, when it comes to the gameplay, when it comes to the depth of the gameplay. But yeah, I mentioned to you guys about tank being possibly fucking overpowered. So you know what? Let's see G's reaction to the first duel we saw, which is essentially lightweight build versus tank.
I mean, who's the
1v1? Oh shit, okay.
This is gonna be crazy. Okay. I'm gonna zone in right now.
We got Fighting Cowboy.
So we got a tank versus a lightweight.
Obviously, of course, like you've seen.
He's using the assault boost to reduce damage taken, or we did for a second, Fighting Cowboy that is. Now that he got inside position on Oro, he's just
very aggressive.
unloading the Gatlings.
Also the distance with the bullets and everything too.
And then the tank never loses target. What the fuck though? How is Oro supposed to be winning that? That makes no sense.
Might not be as relevant in this case.
What the fuck am I watching, dude? That makes no sense. Oh my god, I cannot believe that. This is obviously it's not even close. Obviously, that makes no sense. What the fuck, dude? Who did this? Who fucking decided to greenlight this? You fucking clueless FromSoft again, man.
In previous Armored Core games, lightweight was apparently very, very good in PvP against tanks. Yeah, the entire idea of playing against tanks is that like tanks had insane firepower, but they lacked mobility. Because of that, builds focused on a lot of mobility had possibility to just like rotate around them and essentially destroy tanks by the mobility. And if you're gonna look from this perspective, Ouroboros is supposed to have actual advantage. And it's not like Ouroboros is fucking like trash at this game or anything. Everyone is trash. Every single person that played on this showcase is trash because of this new game. Like no one actually knows how to play it yet. And despite that, like the tank is just going forward. It is looking ridiculous. And it's not like Oro is not trying to do anything and just like receiving damage and losing the DPS fight. He's trying to side dash, he's trying to strafe, he's trying to hover over the opponent, he's trying to keep the distance, to outrange and so on. Nothing fucking works. Fighting Cowboy is rushing forward, attacking, yet again, attacking, never losing the target out of its sight because of the lock-on system, and that's fucking it. Like, it wasn't even close, like, not even a little bit. Fighting Cowboy lost, like, at 3,500 HP, versus Oro losing 8,500. Had that much fucking more HP left, and there was essentially really nothing that Oro like visually could have done there. Like, it's no matter how skillful you are losing.
Hello, gamer. Memory's broken. Room goes unspoken.